welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. The President has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to ending Boko Haram's insurgency in the shortest possible time. President Muhammadu Buhari was speaking in Germany at a meeting with the President of France, Mr. François Hollande, on the sidelines of the G7 summit. President Buhari said Nigeria will welcome greater support from France and other friendly nations to overcome Boko Haram. The President spelled out the areas of collaboration to include more intelligence on the terrorist group's links with ISIS, training, as well as sources of arms and ammunition. These, he added, would facilitate the adoption of fresh tactics to deal with the insurgency in the region. In his remarks, President Hollande commended President Buhari's efforts at strategizing with Nigeria's armed forces, security agencies, and neighboring countries for a more decisive action against Boko Haram. He assured President Buhari of France's support for Nigeria and its coalition partners, including military and intelligence cooperation. President Buhari also received similar pledges of enhanced support from Prime Minister Stephen Harper of Canada and German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Now, in compliance with the presidential directive, a reconnaissance and advance team to establish a military command and control center for the fight against terrorism and insurgency has moved to Maiduguri, Borno State. The center, according to the Director, Army Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, will serve as a forward command base for the Chief of Army Staff and other service chiefs. The team, which is led by a two-star general, has already commenced work in earnest under the codename Operation Zaman Lafia, and it comprises personnel from the Office of the Chief of Army Staff, all the relevant Army headquarters departments, and other combat support components. He explained that the center is essentially an elaboration of an already existing Army headquarters command and control arrangement which will monitor, coordinate, and control the fight against terrorism insurgency in the Northeast. He also added that an alternate command center will also be established in Yola, the Adamawa state capital.
The command and control center has been established here in Maiduguri, and the team has commenced work in earnest, and any moment from now, the Chief of Army Staff and other service chiefs will be operating from the center. And I wish to inform you that we have an alternative center in Yola.
To some legal matters now, and the Federal High Court Abuja has okayed a suit filed by a rights group seeking to stop the candidate of the APC, Femi Gbajabiamila, from emerging as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Through its counsel, Mr. Michael Zekome, the registered trustees of Social Justice and Civil Rights Awareness Initiative had approached the court seeking an order to stop Honorable Gbajabiamila from parading himself as a member of the House and aspirant for the office of Speaker. The trial judge, Justice Abdul Kafarati, who heard the matter in chamber, ordered the plaintiff to put the defendants on notice to come and show why the plaintiff's relief should not be granted. The group hinged its suit on the grounds that Mr. Gbajabiamila was convicted in the United States of Georgia for unethical practices and was debarred for 36 months. They asked the court to declare that Mr. Gbajabiamila is not a fit and proper person to be elected as member and Speaker of the House of Representatives. The plaintiff also wants the court to give an order restraining the House from accepting the nomination of Mr. Gbajabiamila as an aspirant for the office of Speaker. Now, the death toll in the Rivers State food poisoning crisis has risen to 38, even as the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control collaborates with the National Center for Disease Control to establish the real cause of the deaths. The Director General of NAFDAC and coordinator of the Disease Control Center told journalists at a joint press conference that samples of the locally produced gin have already been collected from Rivers State and are currently undergoing laboratory tests in Lagos State. Meanwhile, the agencies have urged the public to desist from the consumption of locally made gin, as the reported deaths are possibly linked to heavy doses of methanol in the gin.
In less than 1 week after the first case of deaths resulting from the consumption of dog meat and locally produced gin called Ogogoro was reported in Rivers State, The federal government has placed the latest death toll at 38.
We have been informed of 38 deaths associated with the consumption of locally brewed ogogoro in Rivers State.
Although the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration is yet to establish the real cause of the deaths, it says there is a possibility that methanol toxicity could be responsible, as was the case in Ondo State a few months ago.
Remember when the deaths were reported from Ondo State, initially some people were saying that it was spirits or some outbreak of some kind of disease. But his team with the WHO were first on ground. It was they who informed us that these were not spirits, but some kind of poisoning. Then NAFDAC had to step in. It is also our belief that the same case scenario is being played out in Rivers State, where about 38 people have been confirmed dead.
In the meantime, the agencies had advised the public to desist from the consumption and also take any suspected victim of food poisoning to teaching hospitals, as the possibility of restoring health exists only when cases are reported early.
Our recommendations are that we want you to help us, the members of the press, to help members of the public to desist from the consumption of unregistered, locally produced spirits, ogogoro, and the proliferation of unregistered bitters.
It is possible to treat, but I want to re-emphasize what the DG NAFDAC has said. This is not a disease for the primary health centers or general hospitals. Any person that consumes such beverage, spirit, ogogoro, and starts having the symptoms, vomiting, nausea, abdominal pain, shouldn't wait until it's complicated. So as soon as these cases are reported to these centers, I think something can be done.
38 deaths have so far been recorded from the 45 cases of food poisoning reported at the weekend in Rivers State. It will be recalled that a similar case occurred in Ondo State in April, killing 18 people.
Workers of Seawolf Oilfield Services have staged a protest to demand payment for a backlog of their salaries for the past 22 months. The workers, who are at an office of the Asset Management Corporation, say the situation has led to the death of some of their colleagues, and they vow to continue their protest until their demands are met.
Aggrieved workers of the Seawolf Oilfield Services taking their demands to the Asset Management Corporation to demand for the payment of their 2-year salaries owed them. They said they have made their demands known for over 9 days. According to them, trouble started in 2011 when the Asset Management Corporation took over the assets and liabilities of their company.
We are here to take the bull by the horn. Then, for 1 week plus now that we have been here, some of our men, 3 are in the hospital. I'm not talking of the ones in the mortuary. 3 of them are in the mortuary. No salary, no terminal benefit, so we want to get it before we leave this place.
As I'm talking to you, we've been here since on Sunday last week. Today making it 9 days. We have been here. As you can see, all our bags are there. Even some of us are sick. We've rushed some back home to take treatment. Some of our workers have died in this struggle. And some of our workers too, there's no medical care for us again. Nothing.
The workers are worried that the non-payment of their salaries has led to deaths and hospitalization of some of their colleagues. They are therefore demanding that the management of the corporation ensures the payment of their salaries.
We work high in the sea. You know the risk that is there in the sea? If anything happens, we are gone. We inhale all these chemicals that affect our body, our lungs. So many colleagues are died because of cancer and other things. 2 corpses are lying down in the mortuary. One of the guys that died, the wife that injected her from the house with a newborn baby. And somebody's sitting here eating fat. It's a shame. We want the presidency to look into this matter. We are not leaving this girl until our demands are met.
When contacted, officials of the Asset Management Company in Abuja declined to comment. It appears there's no going back on these protests, as these workers remain resolute in ensuring that their demands are met. Nigerians will be watching to see how the events unfold in the days ahead for these protesting workers.
The chairman of the Police Service Commission, Mr. Michael Kiro, has denied claims that he embezzled over 275 million naira from the Election Monitoring Fund belonging to the Commission. Mr. Okiro was recently invited for questioning by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Related Offences Commission over a petition alleging misappropriation of funds meant for the training of the Commission's staff. But Mr. Okiro told journalists today that there is no truth in the allegation because the said fund was utilized for the purpose for which it was allocated, while the balance is domiciled in the account of the Commission.
The sum of 250 million naira for election monitoring, conferences, training of the staff for the PSC, and deployed them to the states to monitor the police conduct during the elections of 2015. Because approval from BPP, that is Bureau of Public Procurement, came late, we were able to conduct only one-day training. The Police Commission staff were paid the allowances, DTA for the one-day training, and entitlements for the journey to the states for the monitoring. Total amount paid was 217,388,454 naira. 0.01 kobo. The remainder, which is 132,311,845 naira, 0.99 kobo, is still the Police Service Commission account. In a nutshell, there is no iota of truth in the bogus claim by one Mr. Aaron Kase, a staff of the Police Service Commission currently on suspension over gross misconduct and criminal activities. It beats our imagination how Mr. Kase could contrive such mind-boggling figures as 275 million misappropriated recovered to the Commission, with scant regards to the fact that...
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's unemployment rate surges to 7.5% in the first quarter of 2015, and that's on business. Do join us again.